Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the biggest misconceptions in modern day numerology. So some of the biggest misconceptions that I found in modern numerology is quite vast. Like when I look at what all these guys are saying online about the 28 being the wealth number and master numbers having more powers than everybody else, and 8s being the number of money, 7s being just the genius number, there's a lot of misconceptions that are not being fully tackled. And I'm not saying that these numerologists that are saying that are wrong, but I think that they're leaving out a lot of vital details that you guys otherwise should know, so to actually define like what you're dealing with when it comes to defining certain numbers. So to begin with, I want to go over primarily the number 28 phenomenon that everybody talks about. Is number 28 a wealth number? To a certain extent. Now, what do I mean by that? In the Chaldean tablets, which is clearly what these guys study to learn this information and talk about all the 28's a wealth number, is they understand that 28 is a number that has a lot of ups and downs. Meaning the 2 and the 8 equal 1. 2 gets along with 8, 2 gets along with the 1, okay, it's complementary, feminine, positive energy. But the 8 and the 1 don't get along. They're considered enemy numbers. So you have to understand that when the 8 as a compounds within a 1 energy, imprinted energy, what happens is it does attract more karmic energy to the person. So like, let's say somebody born the 28th goes to do like a startup business or like create a social media page. They'll garner a lot of attention on that social media page faster than a lot of other people if they put like energy into it. If they have a startup business, they might make a lot of initial money. But the thing is that the 28 gives fast results and then fast collapses. The main thing is that you're going to get a karmic return based off your emotional and mental investment in your purpose. So the 8 in there allows you to get a lot of those investments back quite quickly. It's like a dividend just getting paid out to you. But the problem is that a lot of people, when they get fast results, they don't know how to sustain those results because they didn't actually do what it initially took to obtain it that everybody else would have to do. Meaning somebody born the 27th, 25th, 21st, 19th, whatever, they'd have to put in more effort to get those same results the person that's born the 28th got. So they're in turn gonna be able to sustain it. So the number 28 oftentimes can like build their house on the sand, whereas other numbers are forced to build their house on the rock, meaning it's hard to dig down and make that foundation, but when they have it built, it's actually worth it. All right, so that's the first misconception. It is a wealth number, but it can also be very, very, very quickly taken away if you don't know what you're doing. The next one is the number 8 being a money number. The number 8 actually has nothing to do with money whatsoever. The only reason money is even in the equation with the 8 is because money can be attributed to the way the universe will deliver karma now. Meaning that money is just it's the paper or the denomination of other people's energy. So what that means is like you pay for a service or a good via money. So the more money you have is the more power you have to influence. And the 8 is considered the number of power, influence, but moreover karma. The bridge for 8s to get power, meaning get money, is karma. Now you're going to say, well, there's a lot of 8s that do bad things and get money too. They usually go to jail or die brutally. So like, yeah, they'll get money, but they just die, or they get put in jail or whatever else, right? They just suffer. It's not really worth it for them. So the thing is, if you're an 8, you have to control your karma, your thoughts, your words, your actions in a very diligent way, and you have to live a righteous life. If you don't do that, then you're going to suffer in the long run. And the thing with 8s is that, especially if you're a life path 8, one person may get returning karma, like within like a day or two, but like a life path, or not a day or two, excuse me, like a year or two, sometimes 5 years, sometimes through their children, sometimes through next reincarnation. The life path 8 will get it in the same hour, same day, same week, whatever. They'll get the returning karma. That can work in 2 different ways. One, they have clear karma, so when they start doing positive things, they get a lot of positive feedback loops quite quickly, so they just see a lot of returns on their investment, just like I was describing with the 28. Or they're in the other scenario where they do bad things and then a lot of bad things come on them right away. If they do a crime, they get arrested. Like let's say an 8 starts selling drugs. They'll get arrested within a couple of weeks just simply because they're an 8. Like that's just what's going to happen. They're not supposed to do that karmically. It's bad. They get caught up quite quickly. unlike a life path 3 or 5 that can, I'm not saying for you guys to do this if you're a life path 3 or 5 watching this, but you might get away with it for a lot longer of a time. And if you want to know why, I'll explain that, just DM me. But yeah, it's just there's certain numbers that can get away with crime and get away with pretty much anything, and there's numbers that cannot. The 8 is not a number to get away with anything whatsoever. The universe is watching you. So understand the misconception is it's not the number of money, it's the number of karma/power, and the karma is what gives the 8 the power. The next one, the number 9 being a humanitarian number. Not true. The number 9, I always say, is a dichotomy. I look at like 9s as in like Mother Teresa or Pablo Escobar. What the 9 is influential. The 9 is very much an influence number. It's a number based off of ideology. So whatever 9s do, meaning whatever they think, they'll have an influence over their community, their family, or the world with what they think. So as a 9, what you have to understand is that you're meant to influence not only yourself, not only people around you, but the world as a whole. You're a worldly number, not a humanitarian number. But the things and the choices you make have a worldwide effect. You have a very big ripple. You're the highest vibration single-digit number. So you guys have a very worldwide effect via your decisions. Why the Rockefellers, a lot of the key components in that family were life path 9s. The original one was, and same with the Rothschilds. And then of course we evolve and they go to master numbers, etc., and some 8s, cool. But the 9 is very foundational there. The 9 is a very extreme number when it comes to drawing conclusions to our reality. And the 9 is also considered to be, when you look at it from a dimensional standpoint, the 9th dimension is considered to be heaven. So it's definitely a very extreme number. Is it a humanitarian number? It can be, but it can also be a warlord. So what it is I would say it's a worldwide influence number. It's a number of adaptiveness as well, but it could also choose to change the world around it. It's the way in which you wield your energy is how it's actually going to operate in this reality that we're in. What's some other misconceptions? I'm trying to think of one other one before I leave you guys today, because I know there's one other one I was thinking about. Yes. 7 being the genius number. 7 is smart, but 7 is the number of mastery. 7s are not born a genius, meaning like don't think because you're born on the 7, 16, 25th like me, or you're a life path 7, that you're just going to automatically be smart. That's actually not true at all. 7s are more predisposed, if anything, to be alcoholics, drug addicts, or suffer from some sort of anxiety or depression disorder. 7's one of the most unhealthy numbers from a physiological standpoint, so 7 should actually work out, but work out with caution, which is said online for sure from these numerologists. But what they're not alluding to is they're just going to say, oh, 7's a genius number. 7's the numbers that's meant to become a genius in a very specific topic. If you're born the 7th, 16th, 25th, or if you're a life path 7, a key component to the success in your life is going to be what you choose to master. Meaning like you have to choose something very specific that you're choosing to be like the best in. It's not like the one that's just saying, oh, I'm doing this for competition, I'll be the fastest track runner, or I'm going to have this business that makes billions of dollars, or I'm going to be the best salesperson on the floor. For you guys, it's about the science and the theory and everything about it. You have to go to the point of zealotry with the topic that you're choosing to learn. Meaning you guys have to really be obsessed with what you're doing. And in turn, you then become a master like a Bruce Lee, right? But the only way to get there is by actually choosing something that you have a general interest in. Steve Jobs, who's also a 7, talks about this. Meaning he always said in his novel, he said, your interest will define your intelligence in a specific topic. And what that means is if you're interested in something, it's almost impossible for you not to be good at it. But you just have to be interested in it first, and you have to have like a real interest in it, not like saying, oh, I like space, so why can't I build a space shuttle? Not something stupid like that. What I mean is like if you have an interest in, let's say like martial arts, for instance, I'll use like the Bruce Lee example. He was bullied, he did dancing at first, and then he learned to fight because of being bullied, and he became extremely good at fighting via the motivation that he had through negative experiences. Same thing goes for Steve Jobs, who wanted to make something of himself because his parents, his original blood biological parents, threw him in the garbage, right? So as a 7, you need to focus on what you need to master and not trying to, I guess I would say, bandage the injuries, your mental, cerebral sort of damage via alcoholism or like some sort of like drug addiction. You want to do instead is actually put all of your mental energy into learning something that can then transmute to you making money, or at least learn something that's going to be a benefit to society. Because if you're benefiting society in some sort of way, it's almost impossible for you not to be compensated for that via money, right? So it's as simple as that, guys. So that is some misconceptions regarding numerology. The last one I want to cover with you guys is the whole idea of reincarnation. The idea that like the numbers go in sequential order, because you guys had a big beef with me over it when I was just bridging information. We don't know the order of reincarnation. All we do know in numerology is that the reincarnation does exist, and that this counts for inanimate objects, this counts for things like plants, animals, everything, right? So understanding that, you then realize that you're just an energy that then transmutes to different things after you reincarnate based upon your karma. So it's a whole universal order of things. So understanding that, you realize that, yeah, it's not reincarnation as in, oh, it goes from 9 to 1, then to master numbers. It's more so, no, you reincarnate based on your karma, and that's it. And that's why people have karmic debt numbers. People always have different things like expression numbers that show your past life karma. It shows that no matter what, you always had a past life. We're an infinite realm. You've never ceased to exist. There is never a beginning real point for any of us. We're all just extrapolations of God into different fragments throughout the universe that keeps perpetually creating, right? So that's a whole topic for another day, and probably something I'll get debated on YouTube for sure, so I probably won't delve that deep into it. But just so you understand the biggest misconceptions, that is it, guys. If you have any questions for me whatsoever, just leave it in the comment section. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla me for today, guys. Peace.